Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube video. My name is Delightful Hatter and today we're going to be drawing an apple. So without further ado, let's start by drawing the rough draft first. Come along, draw with me, and we'll go through this journey together. While we do the rough draft of the apple, let's give it a little graphing technique onto it. So that way you would have an idea of where the lighting and where the shading will go for the apple. Good job. Now let's start doing the quote unquote more rough draft on the apple by filling out the shape of the fruit and maybe adding a little bit of the stem and leaf there. All right, you ready to do the line art with me? Let's start drawing the stem and the leaf first with the small details before moving on to the roundabout base of the fruit itself. Remember, small detail can make a huge difference. Awesome. Ready to do the grayscale coloring with me? Fun fact, grayscale coloring is a technique where you color an image that has been pre-shaded with different shades of gray, ranging from black to white. It's like coloring over a black and white picture, using the grayscale as a guide for shading and highlighting. This approach helps artists, new and experienced, understand and apply values within the light and dark effectively, making it easier to create depth and dimension into their artwork. For a better blending of the grayscale, let's mix it in by using the mixing tool and start mixing through the different shades of the grayscale colors. All right, now let's start using the darker shade gray so we can have an idea of where the shading will go and where the angle of the apple will be. Mix and mix and mix up. Don't forget to mix the gray colors. maybe not there. Let's try a different approach and get the lighting to the lighter side of the apple. Let's see how that goes. Alright, let's continue adding the grayscale color onto the stem and the leaf. Checking in on ya. How are you doing so far with the progress? If you need a little bit more help, you're more than welcome to rewind as how much you need to do step by step. Or, in this case, following along the video. Time for lighting again. Let's add on to the leaf first and then onto the stem. Even those two need love as well. Alright, now it's time to add the darker shades of the grayscale value onto the apple. Mixer, mixer, mixer. Don't forget to mix again. Hey, that looks great. Good job. Now let's make it a little bit more of a challenge. See if we can add a little bit more detail around, like setting up a plate and maybe adding a little bit of a ground for the apple to stand on, like a picnic basket. Let's try that, shall we? Never mind. I lied. Sorry about that. Let's go with picnic blanket instead of picnic basket. Outline time! Grayscale time. Time to add the gray onto the plate and add detail with the grayscale of the shadow and the shading. Mix, mix, mix the grayscale. Mix, mix, mix the colors. Or technically not colors since they are in the grayscale. And for this, since we don't really need to do a lot of detail on the picnic blanket, we can just use the bucket to fill out the squares to make a nice pattern. And let's add a little shadow behind the plain apple. That way you can add a little bit more quote unquote realistic aesthetic to it. Don't forget to mix. And over here, we can add the white onto the right side of the table, so that way we can aim the lighting towards where the shadow is. That way it could kind of mix, not really mix up, but blend in with the shadow a little bit more. Let's do some last minute details around the plate and the fruit in general, so that way it feels like it's more complete without having to see little white outlines onto it. Let's do a simple background behind the table and fruit. I would say maybe a lighter gray, so that way the fruit and table can pop up a little bit more. Now here's an important part of this. After you finish doing the drawing, always mark it with your signature or your watermark on however you want to do. That way people will know it's yours and someone won't be able to take it away from you and claim it as their own. Once you place your signature or your watermark down, then you're good to go and you're done with the drawing. Thank you so much for following along this video, and if you made it towards the end, let me know down in the comments. Give me advice, give me ideas. I'm happy to hear it and listen, or read it technically. Other than that, all of you have a wonderful day and night, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye!